know we have to be patient.
What up, guys? How you doing? It's your homeboy Cowboy Crunk coming to you with part 3 of this video. And I want to close this out. I want to get it rolling real quick. Again, if you're just catching part 3, go back and watch part 2 and part 1. Try to catch them in order. And also subscribe to the channel. I put out a lot of videos earlier this week, most of them concerning these contract negotiations and some other things. The rooftop video went really well. I got a lot of good replies on that after I requested people to watch it from. Everybody's watching these contract videos, so I kind of did it a long extended one going over the conference that we had yesterday with management, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Jason Garrett, and also input from Will McClay, who does influence all these guys. That's the main 4. So anyways, moving forward, I want to get this rolling. Go back, check out part 1, part 2. I'm going to jump into part 3 so I can get this done. Right now, Stephen Jones is talking about the situation with DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence basically said, the cap is not my problem. I don't care whatever those guys think. That's their problem. And Stephen Jones said, yeah, it's not your problem. You've got your contract. He doesn't want he doesn't want Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott, and Amari Cooper staying up at night worrying about the cap because the salary cap is not their job. That's management's job. It's Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, McClay, and Garrett's job to do that. So that's where we are right now. I am pointing out certain situations in this video that really points out they are standing their ground with Ezekiel Elliott, which is the first person that stepped up and kind of stood up to them on this contract thing and says, I want a deal, I'm not showing up. And they're being stern, and there's a reason. Every contract the Cowboys do affects the other contracts. So they're explaining that. They've explained it thoroughly. They went over it thoroughly. I'm being repetitive, but go back and watch 1 and 2, and I'm pointing out in every point in this video where they said something that was rehearsed. It was said by multiple people, in similar ways on the committee. So I'm pointing that out, that they're going to stand their ground on Ezekiel Elliott, and it's very obvious.
Because it's just been a lot of work has gone into really putting this young
so much work going into lining these contracts up, and once one guy jumps out of line.
And certainly, one thing I do agree with. Marcus Lawrence told me point blank,
right here,
it's not my problem. The rest of the guys, and he's right, but it is my problem, it is Jerry's problem, it is Jason's problem, it is Will's problem, and so we have to factor that in.
So what he's saying is, as soon as one guy jumps out of line and requests something that they haven't planned for, they planned on Ezekiel Elliott. He has a contract, finishing his contract. That's what they planned for. Now, I understand him not finishing. He's a running back. He doesn't have long left. This is a stupid question here. She had a good question earlier, which I went over in video 2.
On which one?
They're talking about, what's your timeline on getting the contract done? We don't know. They're negotiating with everyone. As players come across, as Amari Cooper or one of these guys comes across.
There's no question. They were drafted in the same class.
As these guys come across, they're going to work with them. Whoever seems flexible, if Zeke seems flexible, obviously he's the least flexible because he's not shown up. If Amari Cooper seems flexible, they're going to work with him. They stated in the video here shortly, he's about to state, the Amari Cooper deal we're not concerned about. We'll get Amari done. And the reason is, he's not asking for much more than he's already on contract for. And actually, when we do his contract, we will actually save money because his cap hit will go down. So that's the way that thing works. There's no deadline to get a certain person done.
Certainly when deals get done at those levels, then
it does look like we're going to roll into the season without Ezekiel Elliott. That's just what my perception is.
Where it doesn't.
Here, Jerry Jones is about to preach. He's about to preach. Listen to this, guys.
Team does, and a player, and a position. That's good reading. That's good reading. And I understand for those individuals involved how they compare to that. But the Dallas Cowboys have a litany of contracts.
We have contracts already
Those
in line.
contracts have been made predicated on the terms of other contracts.
Those
not
contracts are
the
made
ones,
according to
not
other
the-
contracts we have.
Based on the Dallas Cowboys.
And our cap, our
And
salary
so
cap.
We have arduously spent money,
Organizing
time, planning
these
relative
contracts
to
out.
the relationship of those contracts together.
And when you
Just
sign a guy-
because somebody in their contractual situation decides that they want to do different than their contract, just because that
When a guy gets out of
doesn't
line,
mean that
it
you
disturbs
tear up
everyone else.
Everything that you got over here with.
So what he's saying is when someone steps out of line and they request more money than they've signed for, they want a new deal, now you've messed the alignment of the stars up. We've lined the stars up, the stars, baby. We've lined the stars up a certain way. We line these contracts up so we match the cap. When you have a guy jump out of line and disturb the line, the stars aren't aligned anymore. And you've got to go back and you've got to tear these contracts up and renegotiate them or rework somebody or get rid of somebody that you really don't want to get rid of and hurt your depth chart.
The team, even though somebody else may have done something different with another team. What rules
I'm telling you
today
guys,
is your list, and what rules today are your economic.
You've made rules.
That rules the day. Now that's real.
You've got a budget. We've
And
started
so
a budget.
That's what you're sitting there protecting is the integrity of how all of that works.
Yes, sir.
Together. And that.
What he's saying is we've made promises to other players to pay them a certain amount and keep them and put them here. Ezekiel Elliott made a promise to the Cowboys. He signed that deal. Yes, it's a rookie deal. I understand. I do think they do need to renegotiate his contract. But if he's asking for that top tier money, he's got to go short term, just do a 2-year deal and then maybe try to move on to another team or try to work a longer deal later. But for us to go into this and give him money that we weren't planning on giving him, it means we've got to tear up other players' contracts or move somebody that we've already given a contract. Now we're breaking a commitment to give you a commitment when you're breaking your commitment to screw this guy over. And like when DeMarcus Lawrence says it doesn't matter to him, you guys got to fix it. But yeah, you're affecting the other players. If it's a family and we all have to eat, the more I want to eat is the less you're going to eat. The more I eat, the less you eat. And that's just the way it is. And this is what's going on. This is why it's so difficult. And when people say, just pay him, we have to pay him. He's Ezekiel, he's the best running back in the league. He is. But we can't just pay him. It doesn't work that way.
That's why that if everybody at one time said, something.
Preach, Jerry. Oh, my goodness.
And he's got all.
Take him to church.
Let's get all that money.
Take him
Let's
to
go do
church.
this at the same time. I'm just saying, that's not the way it works.
I'm going to go to Jerry's office and get some money.
As much money as this group right here got your heads together.
It don't matter how much money Jerry has.
If you
It
could
doesn't
just
matter.
Put it down, I promise you that. But seriously, and that's what you're looking at. And so you
Exactly.
say, well, where are you
Boy.
with other players that are involved here?
I really thought Stephen Jones had taken over. I thought he was the mind behind, the wheels that are turning now. Jerry Jones just laid it down right there. You can't just come to my office. It doesn't matter if the Cowboys, they're worth over $5 billion now. The price of the Cowboys has gone up, and it's probably because of my videos I'm doing. That's what it is. But anyways, the price of the Cowboys is up to $5 billion. That doesn't mean the Cowboys can pay more. The wide receiver from the Saints tweeted or whatever, put on his Instagram, the Cowboys are worth $5 billion and you can't afford to pay Zeke. It has nothing to do with what Jerry Jones makes, what he has. There's a salary cap, man. This ain't the New York Yankees. This ain't baseball. Football is different.
You've got a good idea, and brother, we are pretty good at it.
They're good at tracking.
Where you're going to be projecting.
They weren't. They're getting better, though.
We can figure, and we can anticipate what the cap's going to be, and what the revenues are going to be, and what's going to be.
All right, guys, that's pretty much it for the video concerning that. I did want to say this, guys, we're going to have 8 players in the top 100. 7 or 8. If Dak is in there, it'll be 8. We're going to have 8 players in the top 100. That's crazy. That's a lot of players that are going to be requesting money. 3 or 4 of those players are already under contract and getting paid. Our offensive linemen, which are the ones that will be coming up shortly, and DeMarcus Lawrence. So, guys, we've got to negotiate these contracts properly, or we're going to have guys hitting the door. One thing I can say is, with that many players and what we've drafted and the young players coming up that we're having to pay, we have the players to do it. That means there's only one spot that we can improve, and that's the coach. If the coach can't do it with this team, if he cannot do it with the team we've got coming up this year, guys, I'm telling you, Jerry Jones wouldn't answer that question, and Jerry Jones can taste it. We have the youngest, best talent in the NFL right now, without a doubt. There is not a team that can compete with our talent. So, guys, Jason Garrett, you better get it done. Get these contracts done. Get Zeke signed. I want him signed, but, guys, the Cowboys are going to stand firm, and they are not going to let one player or 2 players take down our team construction. The way we've constructed the contract, the way the stars have aligned, and they're aligning. We're aligning those stars, baby. Those stars right there are lining up for a Super Bowl. And when one guy steps out of line and request a contract, it throws 3 or 4 of the other stars off. They don't get paid, or we get our 4th or 5th receiver, or some of the guys on special teams get cut or are used as trade material. It's just not going to be a good sight. So they're going to stand firm on these contracts. I can guarantee you, I can tell you by the way they talked and the things they said, guarantee you they're going to hold to this. Ezekiel Elliott will not get over 14 million. I just don't see it happening. Not with the way they're talking. So anyways, guys, take care, enjoy the video, go back, watch part 1, part 2. Please subscribe to the channel, man. The channel's going to be banging once football season starts. The live streams are going to be cool. Live streaming from Germany, Cowboys Nation. Here we go, baby. Cowboy Crunk out. Peace. Enjoy the video.